Hi everyone. Welcome to It's Not Your Talent, It's the Trauma You're Carrying into Your Auditions, with your host, Victoria Antonelli, breathwork facilitator, coach, and of course, actor. No, I'm not going to talk like that the whole video, but I had to bring some drama at the beginning. So for today, we're going to focus on how to clear the blocks that are dimming your light so you can finally book the roles that you were meant for. And I'm going to start with my journey. So I'm going to bring you back to 2022. I had just moved to the suburbs outside Atlanta from Los Angeles, where I lived for 6 years with my boyfriend at the time. And let's just say that that relationship had hit its expiration date, and I did not want to accept that, and neither did he. And on top of that, I had a lot of repressed trauma from past relationships, past circumstances, childhood, that I was not able to fully clear while being in this environment that did not really support my growth anymore. So to be quite frank, I felt dead inside, and I was having physical, mental, and emotional symptoms, rashes, gut issues, depression, anxiety, eating disorder flaring up. So the natural next step would be, let's break up, go our separate ways, figure our shit out. But instead, I was like, no, I need to fix myself. I am going to take this on. I am going to mold myself into a square or mold myself from a square into a circle and try to fit into this whole picture that is just like not picturing. And I did this through a self-help lens, funny enough. So I was doing all different types of therapy, Reiki, sound baths, energy healers to try and fix myself. And what ended up happening is it actually got me what I needed. Not what I wanted, but what I needed. And so that brings me to April 5th, 2023, which is when I had my wake-up call. Literally, I was sleeping, having a dream, and it's so funny, the next day I was going to a photo shoot for this job in Knoxville, which I had never been before, and it's where my current boyfriend is from and where I now live, so funny little synchronicity. But anyway, I'm having this dream, and in the dream, I kiss this man who is not my partner at the time. And I immediately wake up right after, and it was one of those dreams where you're like, did that actually happen? It felt so real. And I woke up and I just touched my lip, and I looked around and I looked at my partner at the time and the room, the house, the town. And I was just like, this is not it. And there were lots of other signs. But after this dream, I was like, I cannot spend another second ignoring my intuition and in these circumstances. And I was in class. I was going to casting director workshops. I was doing all of the things that they tell you to do. I updated my reel. I got new headshots. I got Southeast representation. I got my SAG card. But because of the trauma that was not being cleared or not being cleared with the correct intention behind it, I was plateauing. It didn't matter that I was learning these techniques and working with these renowned teachers. Of course, I learned a lot that I was able to finally explore after I moved the trauma. But in that moment, it was just like compiling, and I was just disassociating. I would literally disassociate in the middle of acting scenes in class, and the teacher would be like, Earth to Victoria, are you a robot? So I get out of that relationship, moved back to Rhode Island. And a big part of this year-long journey was doing conscious connected breathing every single day. And I could literally feel the layers of inauthenticity just falling away with each session. I just came more and more back to myself. Sometimes I would do guided sessions. Sometimes I would make my own playlist. And it was just life-changing. And at that point, I had already done a breathwork for actors class and gotten really good feedback and had kind of started to experiment here and there with combining breathwork and acting. So I started not only using breathwork for trauma healing, I started using it to clear my nerves before acting class, and also to get more into character. This became a very, very clear and essential tool this past July. When I was playing this character in a Lifetime movie, one of the leads, and I had to go to this really dark place, and I needed a deeper understanding of my character's backstory. So I set that intention before the breathwork session, and I'm in the middle of it, and it all just came to me as a download, and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm crying, and I just really connected with her and her why. And the next day I was on set, and after I did the scene, people from production, the director, they're coming up to me. They're like, how did you prepare for this role? And so everything clicked. And I was like, this is a revolutionary tool for actors, for artists that I need to share. So April 2023 was when the big transition happened. And since then, I have booked not only the lead role in that Lifetime movie, another lead role in an indie film, supporting role in a TV pilot. I booked 2 national commercials, several regional commercials. I also led a breathwork class at Georgia Aquarium for 130 people. During this year of celibacy, I traveled to India to teach breathwork, which was this random synchronicity that kind of just fell into my lap. And it was the most magical experience of my life. And it actually reinvigorated my connection to acting, because it was like a weird time with the strike and all that. And I actually got to teach a monologue class while I was there, which was super cool. Also taught breathwork to hundreds of children and adults. And so ever since then, I have been using this technique to help actors like yourself not only clear the trauma that is blocking them from growing in their career, expanding as an actor, accessing their full emotional capacity, but also to recognize that we are doing holy work. We are co-creating with God, with our higher power, and breathwork is a way to get downloads about how we can be even more in the truth of our character, of the circumstances, the story, and really lean into that. Because like I was saying earlier, I was taking all the classes, doing all the things, but nothing really moved the needle until I processed the trauma. And it's so funny because I think this was December 2023. So I was in Rhode Island, I was out of the relationship, I had not met my current partner yet. I took an acting class with Larry Moss. At the end, I asked him, what else do I need to work on? And I wanted him to give me, like voice lessons, work with this acting teacher. I was looking for something like that. And he was like, you already know what to do. And I was like, damn. Okay. Yeah, I do. So here are the biggest lies I was trying to convince myself of, that I have since proved wrong by listening to my intuition and connecting more with my truth through conscious connected breathing. I can ignore my intuition and still thrive. That's lie number 1. You know that voice in your head that says, this relationship isn't right. This agent isn't serving you. This city is draining your soul. And you ignore it. Because acknowledging it means you have to do something about it. And doing something about it is scary. So you stay, you convince yourself it's fine, you push down the knowing. But here's the truth. Your intuition isn't optional. It's not a nice to have, it's your GPS. And when you ignore it, you end up lost. So I never ever would have gotten to where I am now. I don't even want to think about where I would be right now if I did not listen to my intuition. Because it starts out like this whisper, it's a gentle nudge, but if you don't listen, shit can get real ugly. Another lie that I believed, and now I don't believe anymore, I can't have love and a thriving career. So maybe you've been told a similar story that you have to choose love or career, relationship or success, partnership or purpose. It's bullshit, okay? You can have it all. And in fact, I would say having a healthy, safe relationship is a major key to being a thriving artist, a thriving actor. When you feel safe in your life, you take bigger risks in your art. Okay, so lie number 3, which I've already covered a little bit. I just need more classes, more techniques, more connections, and I'll be fine. That's the issue. It's not my trauma. It's I need to work with the 10th teacher. So you keep doing all those things and you're still not booking. You still are in the same relationship that's draining you. You're still coming up against the same blocks and the same types of scenes, the same emotions, the same characters you're stumbling over, no matter what technique you're using. Like it says here, no celebrity acting coach is going to fix the fact that you are living in a misaligned environment. You're creatively stunted. You're carrying childhood trauma. You're performing for approval instead of embodying the character. You're just trying to get chosen. Maybe you were not chosen in the way you wanted to be or loved in the way you want to be by a caregiver. And now you're trying to get that from a casting director. We need to get that out of the shadows, bring it up, and heal that block. Because you might think that you're doing a good job hiding it, but people can sense it and they can smell that energy, and it is repelling. So yeah, like I said, nothing quantum leaped me quite like the trauma healing. It is not about your talent. It is not about your skill. It's about your nervous system. Here are 3 steps you can take now that can help you to start to move the needle and work through this trauma on your own. Step 1, you can track your triggers and your glimmers. So create a note in your phone or a page in your journal and start tracking your triggers. What types of auditions drain you? What emotions are hardest to access? What limiting beliefs come up when you get a callback, break down a scene, or hit record on a self-tape? Glimmers. What about the audition process lights you up? What types of scenes, characters excite you most? What makes you feel the most emotional in your day-to-day life? Tears, anger, joy, these are clues. So these patterns are showing you where you're blocked and where your power lives. Step 2, visualize your perfect day as a working actor. Grab your journal and answer this. Why are you an actor? It may seem like an obvious question, but when was the last time you really sat with your why? The real reason, the one that makes your chest ache with longing. Then from there, write out your perfect day as an actor, from the moment you wake up to the moment you fall asleep. Where are you? Who are you with? What are you working on? What are you wearing? What are you eating? Every detail, get specific. It's a lot easier for the universe to co-create with you and you have a clear vision and you're not just like, oh, I'll take whatever comes my way. No, you are worthy. You are deserving of having your dreams, not some dream from someone else or what someone else tells you should have. What do you want? And then number 3, set an intention before your next audition, before you hit record on your next self-tape, or if you happen to get an in-person audition. I did have an in-person callback the other day. Try this. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths into your nose, out through your mouth. And then ask yourself, and you're also asking your higher power, how can I be a channel for the truth of this story? What do I need to know to bring these circumstances to life? How can I embody this character fully? This is not a replacement for your scene work. You are still going to be incorporating all of the techniques, the acting classes, everything that you already do. This is a supplement, a way to lean deeper into your artistry in the present moment. Viewing acting as this co-creative process, not just with your scene partner, but with the divine. Because let me ask you something, okay? And I want you to really sit with these questions. You can take a screenshot of this if you'd like. How much longer are you going to let your trauma run the show in the audition room? How much longer are you going to disassociate mid-scene because you haven't healed what's making you check out? How much longer are you going to tape auditions like a factory worker on autopilot instead of someone living their dream? I don't care if it's a commercial audition with 2 lines. Stop just throwing it out there and not caring. This is all part of it. Give it your all. Be present. What would your inner child think if they saw you now? The one who used to put on shows in the living room. The one who knew they were meant for this. Would they recognize you? Or would they wonder where your spark went? How much longer will you let comparison and perfection stop you from finding a new agent, writing that screenplay, updating your reel, submitting for the role you know you're perfect for, and actually doing the work? Really going there, giving yourself a fighting chance. How much more time will pass before you put down the weight of resentment from your family who doesn't get it? Judgment from people who think acting isn't a real job. Shame from the voice in your head that says you're not good enough. How much longer are you going to stay in a relationship with someone who mocks your dreams? Who rolls their eyes when you talk about your audition? Who makes you feel like you're asking for too much? Who makes you shrink? who treats this like a hobby. Take a moment and close your eyes. Imagine your acting career a year from now. You're still coming up against the same blocks. You're still not booking. You're still wondering, what's wrong with me? How does that feel? Now imagine this. A year from now, you're booking consistently. You're embodying characters fully. There are no bounds to your emotional capacity. You're walking into audition rooms or into your self-tape setup with confidence. You are living the dream. How does that feel? What version do you want to be? Think of your inner child. What version do they want you to be? So right now, as I'm recording this, it is the beginning of November. A year of new opportunities is right around the corner. Are you going to make the most of it now? Are you going to start now? Or are you going to spend the holidays, the off time, eating sugar, drinking wine, wallowing in the state of the industry, and then having to play catch up in January when you're going against other people who may already be starting to prepare for 2026? The choice is yours. Are you ready to quantum leap your acting career? If you're done white-knuckling your auditions and ready to embody characters from a place of power, book a free 30-minute breakthrough call. We'll diagnose what's blocking you and map out your next move. Whether we work together or not, you will walk away with clarity. How does that sound? Head to the description of this video. You'll find a scheduling link for your 30-minute breakthrough call. I look forward to chatting with you, hearing your story, and getting you shining again.